毛里求斯与中国之间的关系深厚且多维，两国在政治、经济、文化等多个领域都有着广泛的合作。这种友好合作不仅符合两国人民的根本利益，也为地区的和平和繁荣做出了积极贡献。今天，让我们走进毛里求斯历史上的首位女总统阿米娜·古里布·法基姆。她不仅在政坛上取得了突破性的成就，还在科学界享有极高的声誉。作为一名著名的生物学家，她曾荣获联合国教科文组织颁发的全球杰出女科学家奖。她的领导风范和对女性事业的高度关注，使她成为了国际舞台上的一颗璀璨明星。
I've always taken a risk in my life. You have to be passionate about what you do, have faith in what you can do, and never give up.
Thank you, President. Thank you for your time. It's my big pleasure.
Thank you.
Before you came here, I saw many international news about you. Your experience is very cross-border. Which kind of lucky opportunity made you decide to be a national leader?
I have had a very eclectic journey.
Yes.
It has all been down to passion and also the appetite to taking risk. I've always taken risk in my life, taken risk by being an academician working in a field which was not appreciated at the time, which is traditional medicine. I've taken a second risk in starting my own company based on academic research, which is not done. And the third risk I took is when I decided to throw my hat in the political arena and I got elected to become president of my country. So it's down to risk-taking and also the appetite and passion. You have to be passionate about what you do, and I enjoy everything, every day of what I do.
Please share for me about your most memorable experience.
My most memorable experience is when I got my PhD. I came from a village. I'm the first one to have been abroad. I'm the first one to have returned home. And I'm the first one to have come back with a higher degree as well. So that was a very important moment for my late parents who have invested so much in me, in my education. So I'm forever grateful.
I saw the international news about your award. What has been the significance and impact of receiving the UNESCO Prize for Global Excellence in Women's Scientists?
When I got the prize, I was a professor at university. And what it does to you, it increases the credibility of your work internationally. And also it becomes a calling card when you go reaching out for grant for your students. So it becomes a lot easier. When you get international prize, you get a lot of visibility internationally. So that's very important.
I know now the current history, people-to-people exchange is very important for countries. So what is the difference between China and Mauritius, especially culture?
China has been the first country that we established diplomatic relations when we became independent. So it plays a very important role. And of course, there's blood relationship as well, because we have a lot of what we call now Sino-Mauritian people, because they're all our compatriots. And what these people bring on board is discipline, is hard work, and valuing success, valuing hard work. And I see that here in China. So this is something that we value and we appreciate their contribution to the evolution of our economy. There has been some very prominent Chinese, of course, Mauritian of origin, who have made it very high in the hierarchy of our nation. So we are very grateful for their contribution.
In your opinion, what are the new opportunities between China and Mauritius now?
China is the biggest trade partner for Africa. And Mauritius, of course, is one of the African countries. And we value a lot of the exchanges we have. And of course, culturally, China is so rich and so diverse. We can still learn from her. We will keep on forging closer relations with China because it is set to become one of the global powers in the world.
What's your biggest impression of China?
You know, I've been coming to China for past 10 years on a regular basis, almost at least once or twice a year. I noticed the progression that the country has made, massive progress. You know, the world will keep looking up. And you know, there was a sentence from Napoleon who said, the world will shake when China wakes up. And I think we are there. China is at the forefront. I love China.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you. Welcome to Suqian. Welcome.
Thank you.
What's the significance of this conference of scientists to the development of global science?
I'm very grateful that the organizers have associated me with this event. It's been a great opportunity to learn from the frontier science, and especially it's happening in a country of the global south. Of course, China now is leading the way in science and technology. And some of the cutting edge research have been shown. And I think what matters is more collaboration and more cooperation in an area which will have a great bearing for health, therapy, and of course, all the benefits it brings to life.
I remember you once said that Chinese traditional medicine is the treasure of traditional Chinese culture. So now please talk about your understandings of traditional Chinese medicine.
The approach that China adopted from the very beginning is remarkable. I posit this against what's happened in Africa. China has been very busy documenting
That's true.
a lot of the Chinese information. And I think it is through this documentation that Professor Tu Yu has been able to work out, has given the world the treatment against malaria. The quinine, which has been there for a long time, is not as effective as because the malaria is showing resistance. This is the work, the contribution of China to the world in terms of curing one of the deadly diseases. Not forgetting as well that Chinese traditional medicine has given ephedra from Mahuang. Again, this boils down to documentation. And I think what is more significant is that it contrasts with what's happening in Africa, where documentation hasn't been done properly. And I think I'm one of the few scientists, who has documented our traditional knowledge. If you recognize the contribution of your elders, and we can draw from this knowledge to advance more, because while we're talking about cutting edge science here, we mustn't forget that nature has been there all along, contributing to our health and, of course, to our well-being. And she still remains a powerful source of inspiration for new discoveries. So China has taken a huge step, shown the way that it's possible to document, to go back to our ancestors' knowledge, and to work with new technologies here towards the future, and of course, for the betterment of mankind.
As a very successful scientist and national leader, how do you view the current changes in the status of women in science worldwide?
Well, we were very lucky to have had a woman Nobel Prize winner as our guest. I think it's less than around about 5%, the winners of the Nobel Prize who happen to be women. And I keep saying, and I'll say it again, a bird cannot fly with one wing. We need both wings to be able to fly. So we increasingly need to factor in the contribution of women in science, in all walks of life, because women bring in a different perspective. And we need that perspective. So that's why we need to have complementarity between men and women.
Next, please share with your experience and advice to the young scientists, especially young women scientists.
We need to have more cheerleaders in the father. I was lucky to have had my father as my cheerleader. He would tell me all the time that there's nothing that I cannot do. I was capable of doing anything if I put my mind to it, if I work hard. We have this responsibility to take young women by the hand. We need to be the mentor. We need to be the role model, so that they know that, yes, somebody who looks like me has made it. I should be able to make it too.
So you want to tell every woman, please believe in yourself always.
Always believe in yourself, have faith in what you can do, and never give up. And more importantly, put in the hard work, because there's no shortcut for hard work.
Thank you, President.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.